Hi everyone, thanks for joining. I'm just going to let everyone get into the room and then we'll start from there. I can see we've got quite a few joined so far. There's a few others waiting, so I'll just start in a minute or so's time. Yeah, I can see the room filling up. That's really good. I hope you can hear me okay. If anyone can't, I suppose there's no point in asking if you can't hear me because you won't be able to tell me. Okay, I think we'll start there. So thank you everyone for joining today. My name is Graeme Smith. I'm the customer success lead here at Integral. And essentially, what that means is that my role within the company is to make sure that you, our customers, can be as successful as possible in using the product. We want to make sure you're aware of all the facets that it has, all the features that it has, gain feedback from you, and make sure that we can do everything we can to help you out. So this webinar, it's really just to demonstrate the latest enhancements of FusionReactor, specifically within the Cloud UI and the updated feature set. Now, the reason I wanted to start with this is because we've released a lot of new features, certainly over the last couple of months, and I want to make sure that everyone's aware of them. It's easier to do it in a large grouping like this. As I run through and show you some of the items that I'm going to click on and use, you may also find some little hidden gems, some items that I might use that you might not have seen before, or the ways to get to certain bits of information that you might not have seen. For many of you, it might be the first time seeing the Cloud UI, and it might spark off some ideas of things that you want to use within that. Now, this is, as I say, more of a general overview of the new feature set. It really marks the beginning of a sort of planned series of webinars that I want to do. And with that, the future ones, they're going to focus more on sort of deep diving into these new features that we have available, new ways to do things, or indeed any questions that I get back. Any feedback is always welcome. So today I'm just going to cover these topics here. A brief introduction to FusionReactor Cloud, why we built it, how we use it, the cloud to on-premise tunnel. So this is something new that we've brought into the UI specifically within the cloud. OpsPilot AI, which I'm sure many people have heard of in the past, but maybe haven't had the chance to use it yet. And beyond that, the OpsPilot Hub and the power that offers to the AI. The machine learning-based anomaly detection system, how you can use that and how it can help you prevent issues within your environment. The integrations, now that piece, you'll see that as we go along. There's many integrations that we use within FusionReactor, and I want to let you know where they are, how you can connect them, and how you can use them. How you can monitor other technologies with FusionReactor as well. And then something that is brand new, I only saw it for the first time last week, is a new incident manager service. And then towards the end as well, hopefully some Q&A as well. So what I'm going to do is just come across to the FusionReactor, the Cloud UI, the Cloud UI, excuse me. So building the cloud, it was a kind of natural evolution of the on-premise system that we have in place. On-premise was built many years ago, and it really helped people see inside the kind of black box that is Cold Fusion, Java, and Lucy. And what we've done with the cloud is we've evolved that to working in the sort of modern development environments and modern operations teams where you can have complex distributed systems. Teams can be larger, and therefore you can have different team members that have got different responsibility for different areas of focus. Straight away, one of the first things I want to talk about with the cloud is the benefit that it has over on-premise. The first one that I want to call out is the length of time that you can store your data. So within the cloud, we offer 13-month storage of your detailed metrics, 30 days of logs and trace data. That is much more powerful if you want to come back and investigate something that's happened days ago, weeks ago. A server has crashed. There's something specific that you want to look into. The on-premise version only retains the last 100 transactions, But also if the server crashes, you can have issues getting back to that data. Usually you can't see that again. Within cloud, with the storage that we have attached to that, it means that you've got the ability to look back in time, actually specifically down to at the second, if you want to. You can actually change the time frame you're looking at to give you that information from in the past. Above that, you then can get deeper insights into your system performance by the AI, so the OpsPilot and the Hub that I'll come on to talk about. And one of the key goals that many people on this call will have is reducing the mean time to resolution. You want to speed up investigations. You want to understand where the inefficiencies are. Look at where the system crashed, why did it crash, prevent that from happening again. Within the cloud, you'll see that it's got my name here. Having my name's not such a great thing, but what it means is that I'm actually using my own account. Within the on-premise, essentially anyone can log in to the panel when they load it up, and that really gives you that access to everything that's there. With the cloud, what you have is a secure login. Each person has their own login and also user rights. There are different user levels that we can offer, and therefore you can have people access it, but only see specific things they want to do. To move over to the cloud is very, very simple. It's simply the same agent that we use. We'll just change the key that you're using to being a cloud key, and that means that your data will then start to come into the cloud. This screen that I've got in front of me, as I say, it's the overview screen, and straight away it's giving me a quick overview, as it says, of my environment. I've got 3 servers. The amount of errors, the errors are artificially high. I've written this specifically to have a lot of errors within the system. Are any alerts firing at the moment? Are my agents up to date? So it gives me a real quick view of what's there. Now, if I click into the servers, you'll see that straight away I've got some groups. I've got 3 servers running. In production, I've got 2, and then left ungroup, I've got a 3rd one. So again, I can see where my groups are. I can understand how my servers are set up. If I click, let's go into storefront 1, and immediately it's going into the tunnel. This is the on-premise view. So this is really important to understand that what we're doing here is building a tunnel back to the FusionReactor instance that's on your server. And what that means is that you can access the view that many people on this call would have, but also not be sending any data up to the cloud that you wouldn't want to. To give you an example, I'm just going to, within the cloud environment, move to the JDBC. If I do that, what you will see is that any of the calls that have been made, the data has been obfuscated. So what I'm seeing is what the actual calls are, what I'm asking for, but not the data that I'm asking to run that on, because obviously we understand that putting that sort of information into the cloud, people may not want that. There can be security concerns and issues there. If I come to the on-prem UI and then do the same thing, what you see is that I can actually look at the information that is in those calls. Now, that data hasn't left your environment. It's not been put into the cloud. I'm viewing it through the cloud on your environment. So I've still got, if I want to have or do an investigation where specifically I'm looking at what data was used, I have the ability to do that through the on-premise environment. What I can also continue to do, if many people are new moving over into the cloud, I understand that when UIs change, it can be difficult to do the same things that you've done in the past. So while you're getting to learn and know and use the new user interface, you've got the ability to still go back and use things the older way that you may have done it in the past. You've got the full functionality of the on-premise. Within here, actually what you have slightly more than the cloud is the debugger. The production debugger that's available and has always been there within on-premise. We didn't bring that over to the cloud. So you actually still have that functionality there, should you want to, by using this window. Now, if I come over to my web requests, so you'll see it along the top instead of down the side, I've got all the requests that are streaming into the cloud. What I want to talk about here is the OpsPilot AI. Now, no matter what screen I'm in within the cloud, I have OpsPilot sitting here. I can click to open up OpsPilot, and it will be ready for me to type in any questions, any commands. Essentially what it is a way to help you analyze, troubleshoot, or optimize any performance issues that you might have. It's very, very highly trained and can answer questions based upon what's happening within my environment. But that would sometimes require creating the perfect prompt. I could upload an image, I could ask it with my voice, but I might want to ask it specifically about something that's run. So if I look, for example, at my slowest transactions, and I want to understand, well, why are these so slow? I can click in to look at that transaction, and then under the tracing, I can see the JDBC request, and it's actually highlighted it for me as being the slowest part of that request. It's on the slowest path. So I want to understand why that is. Now, what you see over here is I've got the buttons where I can send this into OpsPilot. So instead of creating that prompt and spending time trying to work out how do I ask about this, I can actually send that directly. The time it was sent, the person that requested it, which server was it on, what were the scope variables at the time. And straight away, you'll see the speed of it. Straight away, it's given me an explanation of actually what that call is. What does it want to do? Now, you see I've included things like sleep functions and I've written errors and what have you in, but it's picking that up for me. And it's given me an analysis of how that transaction ran, what the issues were with it, and then it's moving on to give me some potential solutions, and it's actually doing it in code format for me as well. In this instance, I'm trying to get some information out of an SQL database, so how could I better do that? So I'm looking at the inefficiencies and I'm trying to improve on those, or if I have errors, it would be able to give me the reasons for the errors or areas that I might want to look at to try and investigate to get to the bottom of the error. And immediately that's going to speed up my investigation time. What I can also do is ask it any questions that I want. We do have some templated questions that you can use, some ones that you might want to start to learn how to use it, the responses that it will give, or just information that might be of importance. But I could also ask it, who owns the store? So this demo environment I've got is running a store. Who's running the store service? Or sorry, who owns the store service? And with any AI, it will say, right, okay, what is it you're looking to actually know here? What is the answer you want me to give you? How is that going to help you? And it's gone into acquiring additional knowledge. So what that means is that it's no longer looking at what it's learned as part of an LLM, but it's looking at extra information that I have given it. So you can see there, the store owner is me, and my mobile phone number, and my email address. So how has it done that? It's done that through what we call the OpsPilot Hub. The Hub's a very powerful feature that we added in, allowing you to augment the learning of the AI, specifically with information about your own environment. So if I show you the services that I've got running, now I've given information to some of these, I've given less information to others, and I've left others at blank, just to see how it builds up over time. So one of the services is my MySQL database. It's the database used to serve a store application. I'm the owner, and there's my phone number. If I want, I could add any field at all in here. So let's add my email address. And then update the metadata. So that now has that extra information stored. I could give a different description to any of the services as well and update what the service is. I'm also able to tag them with specific information. So this is for storefronts 1 and 2. And you'll see how that builds up across my different servers, excuse me, my different services. So that's good. I've got information on my services that now knows more. But to take that further, I can also add knowledge into these. So what I'll do is I'll just show files and snippets for just now. So what these are, one of these is a file, just a basic text file that I created and uploaded. The rest are textual snippets that I have added in. So for example, part of my Docker Compose file. So I might want to refer back to what's in my Docker Compose and say, what ports am I using? How did I set it up? How many storefronts have I got set up in here? Which version of the FusionReactor am I using, etc., etc. I can now query based on that Docker Compose file and get answers back on it. Similarly, again, I'll just single these ones out. With the file that I uploaded, what I did was create a sort of emergency contacts file. So if something goes really wrong, instead of looking through a knowledge base, I immediately can ask, well, what happens with power outages? Well, this is the number you should phone. This is the contract number we have with the hosting company, where our servers are within the racks, all the information that I would need to know to actually answer something very, very quickly. You're limited very much by your imagination in terms of what can I add into the knowledge. The more you build it up, the more information you give it, obviously, the better answers it will give you back. So really moving from a hidden knowledge base that nobody updates or uses, you've got this live within the tool. The other point that I had as well is websites. So you can actually scrape websites for information. So I'm sure many people on the call will be aware of Charlie, the vast knowledge that he has. Obviously, his blogs are very, very interesting and always on point. So I've added that in. I've also added in our documentation. And the reason I've done that is because we update the documentation a lot. So by going in here, giving the link to the documentation, saying how deep I want it to go, which in terms of how many levels do I want it to go down, or how many pages do I want it to bring in. It will pull that information in for me, and now has all of these documents that it can search and give me answers back on as well. Every so often, because I want to scrape the site, we don't have it running automatically as yet, but I can manually ask it to rescrape the website at any time. And that means that I've got this massive pool of knowledge augmenting the AI that's there for me. Above that, and this is one of the pieces that I said I would speak about with integrations, is that with OpsPilot, there are various things that you can integrate to it. Now, Loki, Mimir, and Temple, we use those already for metrics, traces, and logs, but there's 3 other ones available to me. These are JIRA, Teams, and Slack. So if I speak to these 2 first, these are the collaboration tools that you use every day as part of your business. You speak on these applications about issues, about team meetings, about plans, multiple things, and they can be one-to-one conversations, or they can have many, many members of a team within them. Enabling these allows you to actually have OpsPilot in your Teams or Slack just as a team member. You can speak to it one-on-one, or you can pull it into a wider team and have a larger conversation. So although you're not in FusionReactor, I've got the ability to query FusionReactor. I've got the ability to ask FusionReactor certain things about the environment and report back to me, or give me information on how things are running. With the JIRA implementation as well, what I could do there, you'll see we've got both cloud and data center. I don't have it currently installed. I don't have JIRA on the system. I don't have access to it on the system. What I can do is actually create incidents with that. So if I see something going wrong within my environment, I can tell OpsPilot to create a JIRA ticket based on that issue that has come up. I can also query JIRA about ticket number 72 or resolve ticket 142. So you have the ability to work with JIRA through OpsPilot within FusionReactor. It links everything together, the way that you manage and control your environment and the way that you try to fix or investigate within your environment. The next piece to move on to, which also uses some of our integrations, is the anomaly detection. So I'll just close OpsPilot out and come into alerting. Now, alerting is something that's very, very useful to keep you up to date of everything that's going on within your system. As you can see here, there's 2 manual alerts I've set up. So I've chosen to be told, if these 2 things happen, please tell me about it. There could be many, many other checks I want to put in place, but that can be very time consuming and really relies on me to decide what I want to know. If I use anomaly detection, what I've actually got instead is the system looking into certain metrics for me all the time. So it's what we call the red metrics, the rate of requests, the rate of errors, and the duration of the requests that are running within my system. It's looking at those and is trying to look at unexpected performance issues by monitoring them. And what the machine learning can do is understand what is a sort of normal baseline, and therefore what are the deviations from those and where issues could be. You'll see at the moment it is actually telling me there's an issue with the rate. So before I open that to show it, let's look. So storefront 1 with the rate, these are all the same: rate, error, and duration. I've said look between now and a week ago, and if you're 55% sure that there's going to be an anomaly, please alert me. Now, the way that the alerts work at the moment, I'll just go back to subscriptions, I've got email and Slack alerts set up. So the email alerts will come to me at weekends, but during the week when I'm logged in, I want to know about them straight away, so it will tell me via Slack. We don't have a Teams integration here as yet, but that is something that we're working on, but it allows me to immediately get told when it spots that anomaly. So actually in my Slack at the moment, I will have an anomaly. It's actually moved to duration now. So let's click on that to understand what's happened. Now what you can see on storefront 1, at the time, the last hour that I'm looking at, it's giving me this information about where it can see spikes up or down, or dips if you like, and the duration. So that has the duration of requests has really gone down. That could be a problem. It could actually show that there is an issue, despite the fact that the request rate has gone down. The errors, obviously, we want to keep them as low as possible, but it may be that we know that something errors, suddenly it stops erroring because maybe the site's gone down, and again, we want to know about it. And then similarly with duration, are requests starting to take far too long? So here we can see the anomaly level is starting to rise because it's noticed the amount of requests is falling. So what I can actually do is say, well, at this point here, show me the traces of all the requests that took place at that time. So it zoomed in on that certain time frame for me, and it's given me all the traces, which I can then decide, actually, I want to look at that in more detail. Straight away, I can see all the spans that were part of that transaction. This one I can see has actually got an error as part of it. So I'm able to understand at a very, very deep level where the transactions are, what was running at that time, click in to understand, well, what happened with that part? And look what was going on at the time it thought there was going to be an anomaly. Similarly, I can do this with errors. So here it was sort of starting to rise up because I was getting some more errors. So let's look at the error traces. And again, I'm going straight to just errors, just at that time frame, just on that service. And again, I can see here there's been an error. So I can understand a bit deeper what it was. In this instance, it was a product that didn't exist within the database table that it was looking for. So it gives me that information and takes me to the right place. And again, you can see the way that we integrate with other services to help use that. And going beyond other services or other technologies, we can now actually bring in telemetry from other technologies. FusionReactor was initially created, as I say, for looking inside the kind of black box of Code Fusion. With that, we've got Java, we've got the Lucy framework as well. But in this example, I have been using my MySQL database. So because I have an open telemetry agent, the OTel agent, as we call it, instrumented within my environment as well, what I'm able to do is take telemetry data directly from my MySQL. So within the same pane of glass, if you like, that I'm looking at CF, Java, my errors, what's actually happening within the environment, I can look at what's happening with my SQL database as well. So I've got various amounts of information here to show me what's actually happening inside that database. If I click up here at the top on the integrations, you'll see the ones that we currently have in place. There are more to come. There's what above this we have Kubernetes as well. It's slightly separate at the side. But what that will allow you to do is look across your technology stack and say, well, what else could we instrument to bring in and give us this one place to see all the information that we need to and how the environment is working together. One at the bottom, I think it's quite interesting. This is showing the physical health of my server. Now, this is my laptop that I'm running on, which is why it's a bit of a cut down environment. But what you can see from in here is actually the physical health of the server. What resources am I using? What's the disk usage at? How many processes am I trying to throw at it? So not only can I see the physical information, but also I've got all the logical information as per the rest of FusionReactor that would already look to know. If you want any more further conversation on that, please do let me know. The way the agent works, it's not our agent. So the one that we have that is part of your subscription is designed, as I say, for CF, for Java, for Lucy, and that is what will fill up all the other screens that we have within the UI. With the OTel, it brings in certain bits of information. We cannot charge for that agent. So if you add it in, all it would do is send us telemetry and allow you to view it within the dashboarding screens. Finally, the last thing that I want to come to is our new incidents manager. Now, this is really, really ideal for SRE management and for wanting to keep an eye on incidents as they are created, as they run. So I've created a couple of example ones here just for the matters of time. I want to be able to show you sort of an incident as it has been used and resolved. So I created an incident called the main site is down. Nobody can access. Obviously a big problem here. So when I created that, and I'll just scroll to the bottom, not only did I declare the incident, but I added some extra team members to say you need to be involved in this as well. And then I've got information back from these team members. They've had a look and say, yep, the follower site's actually okay. Can we move over? Well, not yet. We need to link the database. So what we're getting here is a recorded level of all the conversations, which is very important for reporting, for understanding how we dealt with an incident. What can we do moving forward? Once we've had some conversations, I've created some tasks. And again, I've been able to assign these to certain users on the team. Once these guys have picked them up, they've moved them into in progress. So we're always up to date what's actually happening as part of this incident. And you'll see as we go through, some of the guys created some tasks, completed their tasks, which meant, well, actually at the moment we're okay. We can move over and still provide production. So maybe this isn't as high. We can reduce it down. And again, we continue to have conversations. We go through, to the point where eventually we resolve the issue, or the incident, I should say, here, and we've got a reasoning for that. So we're able to look back and understand what did we do in this incident, how did we fix it, what were the tasks that were assigned. At any point, I can look, I've got the tasks down the side here, but I could move to looking specifically at a task screen. This one shows me overall as a team, what is available and the tasks that are available to me. So actually this task here is for me, and I've still to actually do something with it. Which incident is it created to? Really handy to have a Kanban board if you have maybe a few incidents at the same time, just to be able to give you that ability to look at where everything is and do you want to focus, is there anything lagging? Or, of course, you can separate them by incident as well. You can see what's open and what's not. Cleverly as well, we also have drills. So this one is actually a drill. And what that means is it's not a live incident. It's not that something has gone wrong, but we want to create an incident and run it as a drill to say, as a team, how would we work together? How would we use this? What learnings could we take from it? There's certain security certifications and things that will ask you how are incidents managed? What would you do? What this can do is give you the ability to test that out at different levels of criticality, at different levels of impact, and be able to understand how that all works. So that was really what I wanted to run through. As I say, this is a very general, here are a lot of the features that we have added. You'll see we've got, the preview banner on many of these features, including on the on-prem UI, because these are the things that we're adding to the cloud, and we'd love to get people to use them. We'd love to get your feedback on and understand how do they help you, where could you see extra features going in there, how would you refine it, or does it actually bolster your usage of FusionReactor? So with that, I'd like to say, are there any questions at all at this time? Or would anyone like to look at anything any deeper? Hopefully I've set this up right, so people will be able to ask questions live, but I can see some coming through in the questions. So Mike, you don't have the incidents tab yet. No, it's not a different level of subscription. It's something that was literally just released to us last week to have a look at and understand. So I wanted to take this opportunity to show it to as many people as I could. It will absolutely be available to you before the end of Q1. I don't have an exact time as yet, but I'll get that to you as soon as I know. Dave, yes, I'm recording this. You will receive a follow-up email with a link to this recording. And if there's anything you want to go through in any greater detail, let me know. We can set up a one-to-one session on that. Thanks, Dave. That's great. Nice feedback. Thank you. As I say within this slide here as well, if you don't use cloud at the moment and you think, actually, that's something we could look to use, let me know. I can get a trial set up. It's completely free to let you trial it. We can put that in place for you. I can talk you through that and have a kind of one-to-one. If there's any specific features, maybe you do use cloud and you want to understand those deeper, those specific things further, again, we can run up a one-to-one session. There's my email address there. You will get follow-up based on that. Ben, one of the lines of the incident manager would be interesting to see some sort of bug tracker possibly in the future. Absolutely. That is fantastic feedback. And that's the sort of thing, if we create these features and bring them out to you, and then you tell us, actually, it would be better if it did X, would be tremendous. So that's a conversation that we had this morning internally, because I really got to use it in anger last week and therefore speak to my colleagues about it. And we'd love to be able to link it to transactions, to stack traces, to alerts that have come up. So that is absolutely the sort of thinking that we're looking at. And it would be able to help you guys utilize it more and more. So yeah, thanks for that. Michael, the integration with JIRA. So at the moment it's via OpsPilot. So essentially what it would be is that you would basically link your JIRA to OpsPilot. You would give it the ability to speak to it. And what it can then do is either send or receive information from your JIRA. So if you want to create a ticket, it won't automatically do it for you yet. We can move to that in the future, hopefully. But at the moment, what it will do is allow you to say, for this, create an incident, give it this information, give it this name. Or you can ask about specific incidents that are already created to get the latest on them, or give an update or close them out. Integration with Peter, integration with GitHub issues would be great. There is hopefully going to be an integration with Git soon. I know the team are working on that quite heavily. What level of integration it will give us, I don't quite know at the moment. They're talking about both GitHub and GitLab, and being able to actually look at your code base and then use OpsPilot to be able to maybe understand where there's issues or concerns with that as well. So absolutely something coming soon. Peter, I'll keep a note and I'll let you know when that comes up. Keep you in the loop on it, and we can certainly do a follow-up. It will be, as I say, with the webinars, it's something that I want to continue on. I like to get a large amount of attendees show these sort of features, or, right, we've released that now, how does it work? And then we can all come together and have a discussion on it. That's the last of the questions I can see within the question window. So thank you very much, guys, for adding those in. I really appreciate it. Just to let you know, you will get follow-ups in terms of emails and what have you from us on this. I am going to be out of the office for the rest of this week. So what I've done is I've created it such that it will be the sales email address that will get in touch or you'll be able to reply to. Please do also, though, take a note of my contact email address there. If you need to, you can get back to me at any time. Just please don't expect an answer before next Monday. That's when I'll be back in the office. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining. We're just on the half-hour mark, which is unbelievable that I've managed to keep it to time. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. I hope that has been useful. Any feedback you've got for me on the tools, on what we're looking to have coming soon, please do let us know. And I look very forward to speaking to many of you again soon. Thank you very much indeed. Goodbye.